What could possibly go wrong? This is a question you may have asked yourself before embarking on a new project, task, or adventure. Unfortunately, the answer is often plenty. That's because Murphy's Law states that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And while this may seem like a downer at first, understanding Murphy's Law can actually help you to be better prepared for the worst-case scenario. By taking the time to plan ahead and anticipate potential problems, you can increase your chances of success. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to discuss the importance of preparation. So next time you're facing a new challenge, remember, it's always better to be safe than sorry. Imagine you are now stuck in 8 traffic lanes that are moving very slowly. You are more than eager to go home, but to your utter consternation, you see that traffic in every other lane appears to be moving forward. You change lanes. But as soon as you do that, the traffic in the lane you just moved into comes to a complete stop. While you are stopped, you see that all of the other lanes on the highway, including the one you just exited, are going forward, but yours is not. We'd hope you enjoy your stay in the frustrating realm of Murphy's Law. According to this proverb, anything that might go wrong will go wrong, and that might very well be accurate. This is not due to the existence of some unknown force that the law has. In fact, its applications are made possible by people like us. When things are going well, one doesn't tend to dwell on them. After all, we have the expectation that everything will work out to our advantage. However, when things don't go as planned, our search for explanations begins. Now let's discuss some different versions of Murphy's Law. As was said before, the way in which you interpreted a certain circumstance at the very beginning will determine how that circumstance plays out in the end. If you have the expectation that the result will be good and favorable to you, then it will turn out that way. On the other hand, if you believe that the conclusion of all of your hard effort will be for nothing and that you will not get any advantage from it, then your expectations will be realized. The following are a few various interpretations of Murphy's Law that you may use in your day-to-day activities. The first example is working under pressure. While you have been working at your workplace, you have been becoming stressed out about things that you are not going to be able to deal with and do on time. When you get to the point where you think like this, it doesn't matter how much effort you put into the task, nothing is going to work in your favor. Instead of thinking about it in a pessimistic manner, you may tell yourself that if you merely arrange them, you would be able to do the task within the allotted time. You have to prioritize your worksheet and then stick to the plan you made for it if you want to finish it on time. If you approach the stressful circumstance of working under pressure in this manner, you will undoubtedly be successful in accomplishing the objectives you set for your day-to-day job responsibilities. Keeping a good attitude in the face of pressure can help you stay motivated while you are working on your assignment. The second example is time management issues. You have been having trouble managing your time as of late, and as a result, you have not been able to finish even a single project on time. This is because, before you even began working on the project, you already had the expectation that you would not be able to finish it before the deadline. How about you consider the possibility that you may meet the deadline for the project if you get started on it right now by breaking it down into its components and working on each one in turn. Your optimistic outlook on the job will undoubtedly assist you in completing it within the allotted time frame. Therefore, if you want to avoid having to deal with any issues before the deadline, you should break up your project into smaller tasks as soon as possible. You could believe that Murphy's Law is a rather pessimistic way of thinking due to the nature of the law itself. Nevertheless, this is not always the case. Applying Murphy's Law to the planning and administration of your project or assignment may greatly assist in identifying possible challenges ahead of time and devising solutions to overcome them. Let's look at some of the ways. First, establish deadlines that are realistic. When designing a project or a list of things to accomplish, you may take advantage of Murphy's rule by overestimating the amount of time that will be required to finish each activity. This legislation is predicated on the concepts of forward thinking and emphasizes the need of being prepared with a backup plan in the event that you have any difficulties along the way. For instance, the design job that you believe would just take a week might end up taking 2 to 3 weeks if things don't go according to plan. According to Murphy's Law, you must thus prepare for the worst possible outcome and allow yourself those 3 weeks. As a result, releasing the pressure you place on yourself to do it quickly in the event that it takes longer than intended is essential. When estimating the amount of time it will take to finish the various items on your to-do list, it is generally helpful to add an additional 20% buffer to the total amount of time you believe it will take. This is something that can be accomplished in buckets by assigning specific due dates and anticipated deadlines to your projects, as well as the individual tasks that are included in checklists inside those projects. Secondly, have a checklist backup. If you believe that everything has gone according to plan, it is very unlikely that everything has in fact gone according to plan, as stated by Murphy's Law. This is not always the case, but it is something that can be readily controlled by having a checklist in place to ensure that all of your activities have been finished in the appropriate manner and within the allotted time frame. When everything is going according to plan, it is easy to feel comfortable, but this is often the time when unforeseen challenges show up to catch us off guard and throw us off track. You may verify that you have not forgotten anything that is necessary for the successful completion of the project by developing comprehensive checklists. It's also a smart idea to employ a maintenance checklist that includes a rundown of the many possible problems that can crop up. If you have planned ahead for any complications with the project, it will be much simpler to address any issues that arise as the work progresses. The creation of a comprehensive checklist that you are able to follow throughout the work or project will guarantee that nothing gets missed and will reduce the likelihood of any possible complications or delays. Thirdly, be prepared to deal with the situation. Murphy's Law demands you prepare for the worst possible outcome of a project by not focusing on the positive outcomes that you hope will occur. You need to engage in some self-reflection and ask questions such as, what difficulties may arise and how? What kinds of permutations of these issues are conceivable? What should I say in response to each of them? What kind of impact will it have on my capacity to finish the project as well as my faith that it will be successful? After you have completed this evaluation, the next step is to consider how you will behave in each of the potential outcomes that may transpire. If you are in charge of a group of people, they need to be engaged as well by participating in practice scenarios for every possible issue. This particular kind of project testing may be carried out in buckets by constructing fake projects in order to control the process. It is vital to get feedback from your team and have a follow-up conversation in order to figure out how successful your reaction is and how you can make it even better. Because of this, not only will your confidence as a project manager increase, but so will the confidence of your team, because you will be able to react effectively and professionally to any circumstance. The completion of all of these steps will, as a psychological matter, have the impact of boosting your confidence. In addition, in the event that the scenario really plays out, you have a far better chance of carrying out your strategy with composure. In the event that your strategy is unsuccessful, you will have the composure necessary to improvise and adjust. Since it has already been shown that positive thinking is effective, you should try to devote the majority of your mental energy to this practice. Just make sure Murphy isn't forgotten about. In moderation, he may be your most trusted confidant. And the next time you find yourself raging at your team's coach for mismanaging the clock late in a game, examine whether or not you are simply being a hypocrite and making the same error in both your professional and personal life. Thanks for watching. As you can see, preparation is important for avoiding Murphy's Law. So next time you're getting ready for something, remember to plan ahead and be prepared for anything that might come your way. Thanks again for watching, and consider subscribing to the channel in case you found this video helpful.